One of my subscribers sent me this thread in the Ask Women forum, and a person asked, Divorced women of Reddit, when did you realize your marriage was officially over? Hundreds of comments on this post. This post could be a post weekly for a while. This woman said, a nurse in the hospital said to me, I think you're afraid of him. We can ban him from coming to the hospital. It sounded so nice. I immediately started crying and nodding. She brought me some printed material from local women's shelters and one page labeled abuse checklist. There was a short paragraph that I skipped and then a list of 20 hallmarks of abuse. I got to the end of the list and felt weird because I only found 18 out of 20, so I must not be being abused. Then I went back and read the paragraph I had skipped. It said, if any one of these is happening to you, you are being abused. I knew right then I would never go back home. Understand the times that we live in, sometimes it takes a seed, someone planting the seed that you need some help. That's the reason why I do the work that I do. And I try to highlight red flags and have some compassion and grace for women. This person says, oh my God, this is what happened to me too. I was speaking to a doctor about my own health. And at the end of the hour long conversation, she told me I was being abused and that I needed to get help with the local domestic abuse helpline. Once I've spoken to them, it was pretty much obvious I need to get out with my children. So within a few months, I asked him to leave. And then a month later, we arranged to meet. And he gave me divorce papers that said I abused the children for years, which I know is complete crap, but with coercive control he did with me, I had to do so much therapy to find out because I almost believed him. I'm now 4.5 years on. It was the best thing I've done as myself and my children are happy. He is also happy and in a relationship that he managed to get into within a few months of us breaking up. And after 12 years of being together, you expect a little bit longer than that, but it was obvious he'd met her before looking back. We are all better off. We are safe once we are away from them. And I'm so happy to hear that you've got out, and I hope you're doing well. She's speaking to the woman above. The person at the bottom says, the crazy thing about these situations are I always feel bad for the new person, whether they actually see the terrible person that they are or change for them. Sigh. And then she says, oh, I totally get you there. She knows what happened as my son told her all about his father and what he did to me and him. She brushed him off and said, I've been with him long enough to know that's all not true. I mean, he was fantastic for the first 5 years, and then he changed and started getting worse each year. I didn't see how bad it really was because I needed my marriage to work and I could be the yin to his yang. But sadly, when I got chronically sick, I couldn't be the balance our family needed, and he took over. My son is still in therapy, and I get very down on myself for it, but blame is always in the man's court. The girlfriend knows I'll always talk to her, but when his true colors come back out, and she has had enough, I will talk with her. I just wish I could find myself a man now, but I'm scared to. This person says, my ex's ex wife called me and yelled at me because I didn't tell her how abusive he was. I reminded her that I did tell her, but she didn't believe me. This woman says, it's crazy what breaks the camel's back. I spent years putting up with his affairs, alcoholism, violent outbursts, computer game addiction, unemployment, and unaliving himself tendencies. I was young and took my vow seriously, even if he didn't. I tried so hard to make it work and help him. What made me call a divorce lawyer? I had gone to the gym in our apartment and I ran on the treadmill for 20 minutes. I had never been able to do that before. I had undiagnosed asthma at the time, so that's why running was so hard. I came home and I was so proud of myself and told him. He rolled his eyes and said, running for 20 minutes isn't hard. That was it. That was the moment I was done. I put up with so much and supported him in so many ways, but he couldn't even say good job to me over something so small. It was like the veil lifted and I could see everything. I called a lawyer the next day. She says, goodness, this blew up. Let me clarify. And by run, I mean a gentle jog. Definitely wasn't a full blown run on the treadmill. Probably wrong choice of words. Also, yes, I'm doing so much better now. The divorce was nearly 10 years ago. I took some time after the divorce to figure out who I am and what my boundaries are. I've dated some wonderfully kind men and have a great life and a career now. Much happier. Good for you. This person, my ex-husband begged me to stay with him after cheating. I went through some therapy and decided to try to work through it. He told me that if I ever cheated on him, he would leave me. I was done as soon as the sentence left his mouth. The following comment, I'm proud of you for not putting up with his disgusting double standard. The next person, similarly, my ex husband begged me to work it out with him after having an affair and getting her pregnant. She ended up losing the baby. He and I go to therapy, live together, we're working on it. His affair partner got pregnant again. This person, my ex confessed his affairs and that he had 2 children. 2. I felt violated and then said for him to go live his best life with his kids. He sealed that coffin. So these dudes are out here really being reckless. They're reckless with their peen, and then they get on these internet streets and say all the time how we're supposed to submit to them and let them lead, but they can barely lead themselves. Why are we supposed to submit to this? I have enough material. I have enough material to make one of these weekly. This woman says, I told my husband point blank, I'm not happy. He said, if you're unhappy, you're free to leave. And I did. The next person says, Queen move. Then this person says, remember this as we hear far right politicians and activists trying to ban no fault divorce. They're trying to make this the Republican platform. Don't support them and don't vote Republican. Do not, because they want to keep women trapped. They want to keep women trapped and under the thumb of these people who can't control themselves or their peen. So why should we stick and stay with these people? This woman says, we were making an effort to fix things, but he had an active Tinder profile. A woman says, sorry that happened to you, you're better off. This dumb, naive question that I've always wondered is, how did you find out he had an active Tinder profile? Are you just able to search his name or did someone tell you? She says, I saw his phone. I never checked his phone. That's not okay for me, but the universe. He had left his phone on the kitchen table. I was coming back with a basket of clean clothes, and right when I was passing, his phone got a notification. The screen was faced up, and I saw it. It was from Tinder. Someone asked, how did the next 10 minutes go? How did you approach the subject when he came back with the laundry? She says, I was the one with the laundry. It was such a bizarre situation because deep down, I think we both did. It was over, but I did confront him. No hysterics or yelling. I have no clue how I was so zen, but I asked, and his response was simply, I was curious. They're all stupid. Nothing happened. And right there was the final nail. I didn't believe him. Trust was now irreparably broken, so staying together was impossible. At some point, it could be something so small. Women say enough is enough. And I would like to know, did you have a breaking point? If so, what was it? Let's talk about it. Because so many times these things just pile up, pile up, pile up, pile up. But, you know, at some point we have got to say enough, walk away for our own mental and physical and emotional health. And we need to be good examples of what a healthy relationship should look like. We need to be a good example for what we will and will not stand for our children and the people that are watching us. You guys go ahead, jump in the comments and let me know what you think about this one. Like, comment, share.